Can anybody see it now? Hey,
now.
everybody. We live now.
The doors of the Love Church are now open. Dear world, you name it, we cover it from the world of singles to the behind the scenes of the greatest movie ever filmed, called Marriage. We dig into everything from dating 101. Why won't they commit? It's complicated. I can't do it if it's the three of us. They're a good person, but I'm not attracted to them in that way. 2, they really didn't disclose who they were before I said I do. How do I do this if they can't keep a job? The bills are paid, but the bedroom is suffering. Did I marry you or did I marry your family because we only can take care of us? Let's open up our marriage. Why do I have to buy into your beard gang illusion? You could have told me you were down low and we could have remained friends and not married. And last but not least, did you marry me or your pastor? Have we gotten your attention yet? If so, tune in to Unique Perspectives Love Talk Radio, Thursday at 4:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, if you want to hear more of today's real issues in the world of love. The doors of the Love Church are now open.
Good day, all. And
What's
welcome.
going on?
Welcome to Unique Perspectives Love Talk Radio. I'm your host, Mr. Charles Dixon, and I'm here with my co-host, Mr. Adam Ford.
What's up, family?
The people are now coming into the room.
Come on in the house.
Miss Marlena, good evening, Miss Danielle. Hello, everyone. All right. So, how's everything going with the sir?
Everything's good. Everything's kind of good. I'm getting ready for this. Hopefully, for the weather to stabilize and get some warmer temperatures up, around here. You know what I'm saying? No more freak snowstorms. All that kind of crazy stuff that usually happens in the Midwest. I'm ready for some regular temperature so we can open the pop top and be chilling down the road, riding, leaning back with a gangster leaning a diamond in the back.
It's all right. So, man, listen. Today we're gonna have some interesting dialogue. Today we are going to speak about something that's to me it's always been a thing, but I think now it's becoming a monster. And this is basically, we're talking, I'll let you go into what it's about, but basically we're talking about love and the bag. Basically love and money and how it is disseminated or kept or whatever it is you do in your dynamic. What's working best. Me personally, I listen to a lot of people talk. I see a lot of different posts or different things online, and the resounding theme I get is everyone wants to find love. They want to find somebody that works with them, but no one wants to be played. No one wants to be made a fool of. No one wants their generosity to come across as a joke. So we're having this dialogue today to kind of hop into that. If you would do the honors, sir.
Okay. So love and the bag. When do we invest in them? Now or after the knot has been tied? No matter whether a person is in the initial phase of dating or in a full-blown relationship, there's a huge elephant in the room that people subliminally want to know in relationships is advancing one's position from liking to loving them based off their level of financial generosity. In other words, it is implied today that a person should be prepared to pay in order to play in the field of love.
Pay to play. It costs money to play, buddy. But anyway.
Wow.
Yeah,
that sounds like something else. That sounds like something that's only legal in Vegas, but okay.
Well, yeah, that too. But anyway, no. So pretty much, okay. Let's open this up with the concept of, if we're looking at this, let's just peel the onion all the way back. If we're talking adults, grown adults that have their own jobs, make their own living, we're all responsible, and that's just. We're talking about if you are single, right? You're a single person. You're coming along. You're doing what you can do best you can. Whether it's a struggle or whether it is a pleasure, your living is your living, right? Nonetheless, I think there is a difference between someone being supportive and I guess open to help if there is a problem that arises, and and someone having running expectations that you are to be the bank on demand, whether it's the men or women. You know, it's a difference. But nowadays, people get into relationship. You know, there was once upon a time where, you know, the man would say, "Hey, I want to take you out," or whatever, and so you have that discussion about somebody's working, you doing this, what you do, and so in your mind you sort of gauge where people are, right? And you just go about the date, go about the life, and then whatever you had going on, whatever they had going on, it stays that way typically until folks come together. Then when you come together, then it becomes, well, baby, you know, I got this nest egg over here. I've been building it, and you know, back in the day they would say I've been saving it up for this time and all this kind of thing, and then all this stuff happens like this. But now we're in a world where people want to be treated like spouses in their single status.
Right.
People want to have spousal respect. They want to have spousal support. They want to have spousal privilege, and they want to be able to have access to the spousal bag before the spouse arrangement. So that's kind of
they want all the spousal benefit. They don't want all the spousal benefit without the spousal responsibility, or actually not even being an actual spouse.
Correct. And so it is a thing where, heck, it is so robust in the aggression department of it, because nowadays, instead of like our ears, like we always talk about having a stinking thinking, right? Our stinking thinking. Our ears are stinking. Let me tell you why. Nowadays, when people go on dates or when they start to hang out, starting to go into their relationship, their dialogue is less about learning who you are and the great person or the bad person you are. And people are listening to, it's almost like you're doing ear hustling double Dutch. And you're saying to yourself, I'm waiting for this person to say this kind of thing that'll give me an idea of what kind of giver or how generous this person is or not. How were they in their last relationship? When you talking about their relationships, how was this person treating this one? How are they not treating them? Do I hear this person gives gifts or large this, or do I hear any of that? And they're listening for these things. And the reason I mentioned the double Dutch is because it's almost like I'm waiting to jump in and say, ooh, I like what you said right there. Now, how can this benefit me in the midst of this? And that's why I said not only are we thinking stinking, but we are listening stinking. And we got to clean up all of that, because honestly, at the end of the day, anything someone does for you out of the kindness of their heart, if you're finding yourself in a situation, in a jam, great. But in no way, shape, or form should we go about our lives looking to meet someone so that we can wrangle them into the expectation of helping us out of our mess.
Wow.
You understand what I'm saying? That's what we should do. Yeah.
That's true. That's true. I honestly believe that if I'm dating, and you know, we've been, so when I'm initially dating somebody, that's not even a part of my conversation. That's not a part of me in terms of how I'm thinking about the person. I'm not. Hopefully, we're not walking into dating situations already trying to figure out how we can swindle somebody out of some money. Yeah. I mean, that is so con artist, man. That is such a scammer, bro. That's crazy, yo. I mean, that's kind of crazy. But again, my thing is, okay, if I'm dating you and we're out at a restaurant, then okay, I'm already, because I was raised this way. I'm already thinking I'm paying for it. You know what I'm saying? I'm already thinking, hey, I'm going to foot the bill. I don't have a problem with that.
Correct.
If you come at me with your sad sack story in a pot in your hand, jangling your pot like a person on the street trying to get some dividends or whatever like that, I'm gonna be like, we haven't known each other long enough for this situation to be happening right now.
Yeah.
Now, it's one thing for you to ask for it, okay? But it's another thing for me to offer it.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The offer, if I offer, is there. And it's coming from a place of willingness. It's coming from a place of generosity. It's coming from a place of compassion, particularly if it's in response to a financial hardship that you might be having at this particular point in time. But like I said, if you're approaching me to get it, then we I don't know. I don't know you like that.
Yeah. But you know
I don't know you like that.
But you know what even complicates it even more? I don't even think now you certainly do have the scam mindset, the finesse mindset, whether it's the man or the woman, of what can I get out of you? You do have that. But I'm actually talking about people who have shaped their minds to not only look at a relationship as a partner in action towards a partnership. We're looking at it as a partner to supplement where I am currently. You're a partner, but I need some supplementing happening, because let's just be honest. The economy is jacked up. You got more people nowadays than ever living together before they're married. They're not married because they're just, the way of life, it just seems to be easier because it's expensive. So you got that point. You have, prices and everything is raising up. So people are struggling. Now that's not an excuse, but people are struggling. So what that turns into is now it's like, I'm doing my life as it is, but it's almost like, if I'm going to make time for you to be in my life as a partner, I need you to be available and generous enough to kick in, because these things are here. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying. And again, I got to go back to the reality that if I'm only a part of your life because you see a financial benefit to me being a part of your life, then I shouldn't be a part of your life.
Yeah,
it just can't. Again, my thing is, listen, understand, when it comes to being generous, okay, yes, absolutely, I want to help out where I possibly can, absolutely. But at the same time, I'm not going to let you or to allow you to treat me like an ATM machine, because I'm not an ATM machine. I'm not your bank. You know what I'm saying? I'm not your dividend from a stock yield. I'm not any of that. I'm your person that you're supposed to be in a relationship with. Now, if I have the choice to help you, then that's the choice, right?
Yeah.
Why should I feel obligation to do something that I'm not obligated to do? First of all, if we're not even married, why are we having this discussion? Again, if it's something that I offer, then it's something that I offer.
Okay.
It's not out of obligation. It's because I want to. It's because I'm making the decision to do it. Okay. But if it's something that you're demanding that I do, and I am a supplement to your financial status in terms of you having enough finances to be able to do what you want to do, then we're gonna have a problem. That's all I'm saying. We're gonna have a problem. It's gonna be a different.
So let me excuse me, talk from the other sides of the comments.
Yeah, come from the side.
Not saying you guys, but what about the people that may say, whether it is the man or the woman, they're saying, I get you, Adam and Charles, but if I'm looking to date this person, I'm not really looking to waste my time. I'm looking to find somebody that I think can meet me where I am. So how else am I to see if they're able to carry me or supplement what we have unless I test them?
No, see, first of all, I know what you're saying. But the whole idea of testing me or trying to prove me in terms of whether or not if I have the financial capacity to be able to support you financially. No, we're not doing that. Because my thing is this: You need to come correct from the first step. From the word go, you need to come correct. We need to have a conversation about what's happening. Okay. We need to have a conversation about what's going on. Because if you want me, here's the thing, and people are not going to agree, but it's whatever.
Okay.
If you want me to come and help you with whatever financial situation you got, then there needs to be a disclosure as to what your financial situation is. Let's talk about financial management. How are you spending your money? How are you budgeting your money? Are you spending frivolously? Are you just out there buying up everything you possibly can? What is your credit score? What's your credit history? Okay. Yeah. How many credit cards do you have? Yeah. All right. Let's talk about that. Yeah. But see, we don't want to talk about all that. We just want somebody to come and pour into us while we just hoard it all to ourselves and we just sitting fat. Looking, trying, enjoying what we're the benefit of having somebody financially support us. That's not the way this works. Nah, bro. Nope, I'm out. See y'all next week.
So what about this? What about the notion of maybe a man or a woman thinking to themselves, well, I at least want to know that because here's a common thing that is constantly kind of said, and I'm sure men say it, but I think probably women say it a little more. And I'm only going to say this because I believe security means more to women than it does to men. Men want to be able to trust the woman, but the stability, security thing is mostly where the women hang their hat. And so I'm saying that to say, I have heard women say, quite not just to me, but I've heard in conversation where they want to say, okay, it ain't like he has to do this, that, and the other, but I at least want him to offer. If he's my man, right? If he's my man, or if she's my woman, and she see me, I'm in this position, but she's saying that she loves me, or he's saying that he loves me. How can that be so if he's not offering himself to me?
But see, so here's the thing: the whole idea behind offering is that it's a choice.
Wow!
I'm not obligated to offer. Okay, and then, again, this is probably going to rankle somebody. It's probably going to be a little scandalous, controversial. But even in marriage, you should not feel the obligation of it. And I'm not saying that you're not. What I'm saying is there ought to be the freedom of being able to make a choice whether you are or aren't going to do it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And again, it should be a choice, because if I feel like I have to, then it's okay. So that's not going to work. That's not going to work. It's not going to work. It's not because if you're not doing it for the sole benefit of the other person that you're doing it for, then don't do it. Don't do it. Because now your motives are wrong. Your motives aren't right. They're not aligned within the context of your relationship. If I do what I do for my wife, not out of obligation and not out of a free will choice, then she don't want it. And she's told me on various occasions, no, don't do it. If you don't want to do it, if this is not something that you want to do, then you shouldn't do it. Now, having said that, let me also say this too. Yes, as a spouse, as a husband, there is a level of responsibility that I do take as the head of household. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. We're not going to be homeless. We're not going to be without food. We're going to make sure certain things are taken care of. But me and my wife work in tandem with one another to make sure these things are taken care of. Why? Because there is a level of responsibility that's here. Okay, I'm not using her. She's not using me. We don't supplement each other like that. We help each other. Absolutely. But I'm not sitting there trying to take advantage of her, and she's not trying to take advantage of me. We're here helping one another out. See, this is the problem with the idea. The problem of the idea of the supplement is it's only going in one direction.
Ooh. Okay.
It's not being reciprocal. My supplementing you only helps you. What are you helping? What are you helping me with?
Well,
you see what I'm saying?
Today's culture is, then this is the joke funny part, but that same question you just posed, I've heard on several podcasts, And you know what the women say? It'll come down to basically what that lends to is, like you just said, if I'm doing this, if I'm doing all of the providing or all of the supplementing, but there's no reciprocation, the next question that normally comes up, and I'm not talking about the grown, mature women, ladies. I'm just saying I've heard this. Women will say, the guy will say, well, what are you bringing to the table? And the woman will say, myself. I am the table. I'm telling you, that's a common theme. The common theme is they'll say, I am the table. There's a lot that come with me. So this is it. But here is another question I'll throw in there, which is here's a good thing to think. Okay. How are women, like if we're talking about this dynamic, if we have this mindset about reciprocation and I guess sewing and being a compliment, so to speak, how are both parties to observe whether or not someone has that security factor, stability factor, if it's not exercised in courtship? Or should it be something that's really like, how do you go from the courtship and not necessarily seeing this to go into the marriage and hoping it?
No, I don't. Okay, so here's the thing, and I'm just going to speak from my own personal experience. That absolutely has to be a conversation because you're right. You're not going to actually see it. Yeah. Okay. That's not something that you would actually see that's being displayed publicly. That's information that has to be disclosed because you are not privy to that. If we're in relationship with one another and we're together, then that means somewhere along the lines within our conversations, we have to talk about finance. Yeah. We have to talk about budgets and we have to talk about credit scores and we have to talk about money management. We have to talk about these things. Yeah. You know, and I don't listen, it doesn't have to you don't have to go as far as doing a spreadsheet and breaking things down and all this kind of stuff. But it does need to be a conversation that you and your partner have within the scope of your relationship so that you don't run up on surprises, that you don't run up on time bombs that are just taken away and you didn't know what was happening, just blew up one day. We need to have a conversation about our finances. Not only do we need to have a conversation about our finances as to what we're dealing with, but we need to talk about our financial habits. What are we doing with our finances? Do we pay our bills on time? Or are we always late with the rent every single month? You know what I'm saying? Are we spending and buying everything on Amazon or are we saving anything? What do we have a 401k? You know what I'm saying? How long have we been on our jobs? These ought to be things that we're talking about within the scope of our relationship so that we have a better understanding as to where we are financially. You know, and the closer we get to talking about making our commitment permanent or you know, really walking into the marriage and everything like that, the more detail we should be giving regarding our finances. You know what I'm saying? And figuring out how we're going to do this thing, how we're going to work together in this thing. You know what I'm saying? Because not everything works for everybody. So you got to find that specific customized dynamic that works for you and the one that you're with so that you can work together in terms of moving forward in your life financially successfully.
Yeah, man, that's good stuff. I mean, yeah, it's a tough goal because it's like a thing. If I had to peel this back, I would say a lot of this has escalated from, let's just say, I would say early on, probably mid 80s or early 80s when the drug culture came on the scene, right? The drug culture, the hip hop culture, it became like if you in the drug culture, you had the drug dealers who had access to the money, right? And dished it out easily, which I think wrecked a whole generation of women mentally. And I'm only saying that because it's really an unrealistic scenario. Like, granted, we get our money how we get it, right? But when I say unrealistic is anything that we get unlawfully is unrealistic. It's unrealistic to base your hard life, your whole hard life dividends upon anything that's not solid, right?
Right.
Most of us, if we came up anywhere in the inner city, we likely had our hands in something illegal at some point in time. Nonetheless, I am saying there was a period in those 80s where I was around these guys. We seen them. We was over here at school, whatever. After school, we out on the block. These guys were giving money like it's coming out the bubblegum machine. And what that did was make girlfriends feel like they were first ladies, presidential queens at early ages, because they experienced things that weren't really realistic. They were flown out to, we going to Jamaica. They 16, 17 years old, their drug dealer boyfriend. I had all kinds of bags when I was 16. All these things. We had a house on the water, stuff that you normally wouldn't imagine until you're a grown person making your living, doing what you're doing yourself. But that culture started it with the drug life, and then it became even more visualized through hip hop. Definitely. In the videos, it became glamorized. And so what that did was it elevated expectations of just regular modern day relationships. Going out with you. We started to be in relationships. So now people are like, hey, I need, what's up? You don't bring up supplements. And you're like, what you mean? Don't you got a job? Yes, but you're my man, or vice versa. You my woman. When you going to kick in with these benefits? It's more to it than you just calling me your man or I'm your woman. I need to see why these titles exist. What are you going to do? What are you going to exchange from a generosity standpoint to make me feel this is worth my time? Because out here, if you don't do it, so and so told me they going to do it, and they will do it, and blah blah blah. So that's where we are today. It's like, so if you take all of that history from back in the day to I said you got the drugs, you got the hip hop, then you got the married man who may have a little bit more money on his hands than average, who has had the women he's paying you to be with him, basically. You dealing with him, but you're getting something out of it because he's taking care of some things with you. And so all of those experiences, and ladies, I'm only talking just from a male perspective, but the same thing happens on the male side. But the point I'm making is you got the married women giving the guys money that's not their husband. Same thing. So the point I'm making is all of this stuff together has put us in this unrealistic way of seeing people that are not our spouses. We there's no way that as single people, everybody we date, like I get it, like there are people whose reputations precede them. Let's just say there could be this fine woman that all the guys know she this, that, and the other. She looked like this, that, and the other. And if you hear them at the salon talking, they're gonna say, "Girl, let me tell you something. Oh, are you still with Adam? Girl, what you think? That man takes great care of me." Now you're not married to her, but she's saying to the people, "You do all of these things. You I don't want for nothing. If I ask, I don't have to ask for it. He already dumps it in my account." All of those things. And I always say to myself, if we are espousing ourselves in this way at the relationship level, what are we to give? What is the aspire for a spouse if we already got one unofficially? We already, because if you're treating everybody in the world, everybody that you encounter in a relationship phenomenally, then when you get to your wife, how are you going to treat her or him, your husband? What are you going to treat? Because if you're a lady, I've heard women say, "Oh, let me tell you something. My men's always come back because I do XYZ." But then I remember one time I got into an exchange where I said, "You said my men always come back. I said your men left." It's a two-sided thing.
Right.
So if they come back, why did they leave? You got to understand. At some point or other, they weren't appreciative of who you were. So you got to put that in the mindset. But what I'm saying is we have to think of this thing like, listen, we got to fix the way we think.
Yeah.
I look at anybody that's generous that you encounter as a partner before escalating to marriage, if that's what you want to do. Look at it as a bonus. Don't look at it as a necessity. It's a bonus if the person chooses to help you. Nobody has to help you, and nobody should be ostracized or criticized or put to the side if they're not helping you. It's not. We all are grown. Every grown person has been gifted with some sort of talent that renders them finances. It's our responsibility to find what that is to make the money that we need to make. And but we shouldn't depend on someone or just date someone based off of what we perceive of their status and what we can get from them. That's just crazy. Like, if nobody's responsible to upkeep your deficit in life. If the person cares to want to come in and say, you know what, you my girl, I don't want to see you down like this. Come on, we're gonna do this, that, and other. Then accept it as the person being generous. But in no means don't sit up there and say, so you not gonna pay my car note this month? You did the last two. How that you? I mean, don't fix your brain to be like this. Somebody else's hard working money is their hard working money. And this is no slight to the drug dealer community or whomever, hip hop or whatever you are. But some people, as we see, I happen to think the way you make your dollar is where the conviction lies as to how you spend it. Okay. If you make your dollar frivolously, you're going to dish it out frivolously. That's right. A dude that works hard or a woman that works hard for her money, she's not, I mean, even the most bougie folks that want to go to all expensive stores, nobody just wants to just throw money at your feet just because. People got to pay bills and live life, right? So when you're a regular relationship person that's dealing with someone that come from that world, that's why the communication is so important, to understand who you're dealing with. Because once you, instead of the person being cute or instead of the guy being fine or handsome, you better understand what has been your love track record. Who have you loved? Who has loved you? How have they loved you? Are you one of these ones that's, you know, you might say, oh, he was a really good guy. He worked as a truck driver, but you left out that he was a kingpin. Hello. There was more to it. He's a truck driver, but that was the front job. That wasn't the real job. The reason he was able to keep giving you these furs and other things or whatever, trips and things, because he had the frivolous money behind the truck. Truck drivers make good money too, by the way, but you take that,
they do.
Add the it's a whole wrap. So that's what I mean when I say you gotta be realistic and say to yourself, it's nothing wrong with it. Everybody had a past. We all made dating woes, mistakes, marriage woes, mistakes. But you got to say to yourself, is it fair for me to bring stinking expectations into something different and new? Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? If you come out of that, all of us, especially folks that have come out of an inner city, or if you were this person that you were constantly out on the scene and you had exposure to people that had next level means, if we're honest, it changes the way you see life. So it's not the person in the future's fault, but you got to be honest and say, okay, I'm used to a woman doing a certain, probably a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And for gifts, I'm used to getting. I'm going to tell you a quick story.
Go, please. Story time, everybody. Let's go.
One of my good friends, he's on my page. He probably sees it. He'll be all right. One of my good friends, we used to live together years ago. I remember, and he and I both were considered bougie, right? We like our nice stuff, right? So I remember he was dating this female, and around Valentine's Day, he actually came into me and was like, he showed me what he bought her. He bought her all this expensive stuff, and he was like, but what was concerning to me was he was actually stressing about what she probably would get him, because what he spent on her, because he was wondering if is she the type of woman that's going to match my energy, or how's this going to look. So it was funny because I went with him. We went shopping together. He spent easily almost. Oh, it was over a whole bang. It was over like $1,100, something like that, on the gift he got her. And you know what she got him?
What?
She bought him. And here's the thing: if you're gonna buy the cologne from Marshalls, at least take Marshalls off of it. Take the Marshalls tag off. Hello. But anyway, he bought him this cologne from Marshalls that was $19.99 and bought him a tie because he go to church. All of that was easily $30. But in his mind, he was offended because he was like, wait, man. He kept telling me, man, I'm really thinking about taking it back. And I was like, listen, dude. I said, you can't change who you are. If that's who you are, you give it the way you are. Like, that's who you are. If you next level, you dating her, so treat her next level. So don't, if other than that, don't date her if you feel like she's not on your level. So the point I'm just saying is that you gotta think about it like that. When you're choosing to date people, we all come from different places. We got different levels of taste. Your taste is your taste. Yeah. But you can't burden someone in financial bondage because of your taste. Yeah, if you can't live and support your own life, don't swallow them with it. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta look at it like that.
Yeah, that somebody said story time.
Yeah, that's it, man. I'm telling you.
Check this out. So here's one thing that I took away from the whole little account right there. And that is the fact that if I buy somebody something, if I buy my wife something that happens to be particularly expensive, first of all, she ain't gonna know how much I spent on it. That's the first thing, because I ain't gonna tell her. Okay. She's gonna have to hire a private investigator to find out how much money I spent on it, because I'm just not gonna tell her. That's not the way I do things. Yeah. So if I get what I get you, it's because I want to get it for you. I'm not looking for you to do the same thing on the same level. Yeah. That's just the way I am. And I give it because I want to give it. Again, it's not out of obligation. It's because I want to give it, because I want to be a blessing to you. Yeah. Okay. Now, whether you do what you do for me, that's on you. If you only want to spend $30, $19.99, $15.79, $10, $5.45, that's on you. Yeah. That's on you. But I'm going to do what I want to do for you, because that's how I move. That's how I do. And then I'm not going to feel good if I don't do what I need to do to the level that I know how to do it. Again, that's just me personally. Yeah. That's just me personally. So I'm not, again, if I'm going to buy you something, it's because I want to buy you something, not just because I feel obligated to buy you something or whatever like that. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. No, I was just going to say what we should never do is, to kind of back up what I was saying, is we should never come into a new situation, relationship, whatever. Never compare what was to what is. Yeah. What was, I don't care how phenomenal what was. What was is no longer present.
That's right.
So you gotta learn to push the reset button when you enter new scenarios. Because what we do, we just transfer our expectations to the next person, because we're thinking, I'm gonna tell you, some people think this way. Don't this person see who I am? Don't they see how I look? Don't they see what I drive, where I live? Don't step up over here if you can't be the kind of person to fit those shoes that I expect. So the point is, that's how we think. Instead of giving a person a fair chance, we look at it like, no, I need you to be the kind of man or woman that I am accustomed to. But listen, we need to realize sometimes that what we are accustomed to in most cases is not accustomed to us. Because if they were, they would still be there. You gotta, I don't care what the deal is. If you got this whole history of being kept and you find yourself at the end of the road no longer kept, sometimes kept is just interim maintenance. It's not final at all. And you got to be able to get that vanity out of your heart, because that's really what it is. It's the vanity of us that feel like we look a certain way, or we dress a certain way, or our bodies are shaped a certain way, that we command this kind of life. That's a messed up way to think. Just because of what you look and present, it doesn't mean that what's good for you has to come by a way of somebody just seeing you and throwing their water at you frivolously. I mean, come on. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah.
So here's my thing though with it, Charles, and I'm gonna say this, and again, I don't know if I'm gonna make somebody upset with what I'm saying, but I want to know what happened to financial independence. How is it that we've gotten to the place where we're depending on others to finance our lives? What happened to working for your own living, to have a job that pays you and you are smart in terms of the management of your finances to the point that you don't need anybody else to help you with what you got? You got what you got because you work with your own two hands to get it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We shouldn't be getting into relationships to find a financial partner that will prop us up financially to help us do what we need to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's not the way it should be. That is a recipe for disaster. I guarantee you. That's a recipe for disaster. You know what I'm saying? And we need to be able to be as people, as men and women, we need to be able to work, have gainful employment jobs, work for a living, and be able to support our own lifestyle.
Yeah.
Our own life, not nobody else's, but our own lifestyle. Because when you get to the point where you want to be committed and you want to be in a relationship and you want to be married to somebody, then that's a whole nother level of responsibility. But you can't even be responsible for yourself.
Yeah.
You can't even pay your own rent. You can't even pay your own electric bill. You can't even do the stuff that you need to do for yourself without having to get somebody to do it for you. No. That's not the way to live. That ain't the way to live.
Bruce
when are you going to...
Bruce hit it on the nail when he said, excuse me, he said that a lot of this, it comes from our social programming, social media, reality. What's happening is once upon a time when we were content with normalcy, once upon a time with normalcy. Now we are irritated with being teased with what we see she got, her life. Wow. He loves. Look at what he does. Oh my God, he spends for her effortlessly. And the men, like you said, the men are looking at how the women is. Oh, she takes good care of him, and look how fine she is, and she's doing this. So you got the men looking for a prototype. You have the women looking for the modern day money knight in shining armor. That's just going to just come and sweep them off their feet. Everything for you just because you are you. I don't need nothing in return. I'm just going to do everything for you to make you feel like the queen of the Nile. You understand what I'm saying? And so that's where we are. And that's, again, part of that stinking thinking where we've allowed ourselves to get attached to something that's not real.
Yeah. You know, and it kind of speaks to the idea that in today's society, we have this preconceived notion that we are entitled to things.
Yeah.
We see it on Instagram. We see it on Facebook. We see it on all the social media platforms where people are walking around with this mentality of being entitled, that I deserve this and I should get this. And you ain't. If you really got what you deserved, you probably wouldn't be where you are right now. Let's be honest about it. You know what I'm saying? But we're walking around with this entitled mentality, thinking that somebody owes me something. Somebody should be giving me this, instead of going out, getting a job and working it for yourself so that you can make yourself better for the next relationship that's coming around the corner, so that you aren't a financial burden to the partner that you're supposed to be with. You know what I'm saying?
That's it.
I'm gonna say this again. This is not a story thing, but I just want to say this real quick. So when I first started dating my wife, she would not let me pay for the meals. She would not let me pay for the meals, and I grew up old school. Okay, I grew up men paying for everything on the dating world. I grew up old school. So when I had this encounter with her, and I wouldn't get angry with her, but I just found it so odd and unusual that she wanted to pay for the meals, or better, she would want us to go Dutch. I pay for mine, she paid for hers, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm telling you, we would have conversations about, no, you're not paying for this, I'm gonna pay for this. And I'm like, no, I'm paying for it. And it would be time where I would snatch the bill from the waiter before she even saw the bill come, just so I could pay for it. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is that she was not dependent on me to do it for her. She was willing to do it for herself without me trying to help her.
Yeah.
Because she's standing on her own 2 feet, independent of me. You know what I'm saying? And even nowadays, even though we're married, she still do the same thing. And I'm like, really?
But you know, at the time, without knowing her train of thought, she probably was thinking, let's just be honest, sometimes when a woman can toe the line of maintaining her independence in terms of money, you know, we live in a time where if somebody is doing something all the time, then that usually comes with expectations that maybe she doesn't want to agree to. Because it's a way, let's just be honest, I've heard it where if somebody's constantly doing something, they're going to constantly remind you in a subliminal way. It's kind of controlling to let you know, you know, what once was supposed to be benevolent is now manipulative, because now you're putting right back in my face everything you've done for me. So what people are saying is, look, I don't want to, instead of me, us dealing, I like you, Adam, but until we get to that point, let's play it fair, right? Until we get to the point where we are more endowed in this thing where we can be a little more frivolous towards one another. But initially, I don't want to do that because things come with that. Now, on the opposite of that, here's another question I got for you. If you're a man that's taught and brought up like, you know, you and I were, that when we go out, we're treating and all, we're going to pay the bill and all that. Should there be a number of times that a man takes a woman out that at some point, when does that point come when a woman say, I got to pay for it this time? Because guess what? We in the culture today, that man can pay for 20 meals and the woman won't say a thing.
That's true.
So what does that make a man feel like? You know, nowadays, what would a man feel like if he out here doing 20 meals and a woman, thank you, thank you, thank you. You're like, wait a minute, thank you ain't going to do it today. But I'm just making a point. But that's, when do you change that? Because I think women don't understand. It's psychological with men. It's not that we expect you to bring your money. It's not that we expect you to pay. But it goes a long way. Even if you offer, look, even if you really don't want to pay, but if you offer, in his mind, it at least says she has the intention to be a G and be a partner. She's not just trying to be a taker. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, when you allow a man to continue to pay, at some point, a man says to himself, okay, I'm a man, I may make a decent living, and I'm trying to be kind here, right? I'm showing forth a gesture of kindness. But at what point does it look like it's being taken gravely advantage of? So you gotta. That's why I said paying your way, even if just throw it off sometime. You out with the guy, you offer. Don't just let it be taken all the time. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think, Lord have mercy. It really does have to do with that individual person. Now, I'm the kind of person, when it comes to going out or whatever like that, I really do. I am really grateful to God for how he has blessed me, because he has. He's absolutely blessed me. I'm thankful for everything he's done for me in my life, to the point where now, if I go out with somebody, I'm paying the bill. Whether you are whoever you are, whether you're my wife, you're a friend of mine, I'm paying for the meal. And when I go back home, we go out to eat, I'm footing the bill, because I want to show my appreciation in terms of how he has blessed me. So I really think it has to do with the mentality of that person in terms of how they're thinking about it. You know, again, when me and my wife were going out, we would have not heated discussions, but we would have animated discussions about who's paying the bill, because she wants to pay the bill and I want to pay the bill. And so we like, what we doing? What we doing, yo? What we doing? You know what I'm saying? And so I think it's important that you have a conversation about that, that you talk about that's something that you discuss between the two of you. and you figure out what works best for you. You know what I'm saying? Because you're right. Every now and then, I want to be taken out. Every now and then, I want somebody to pay something for me. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to always be the one that's always paying for everything all the time. But again, that has to be something that's discussed.
Yeah.
That is established within the context of your relationship so that both of you are aware as to what's happening. Nobody's being taken for granted. Nobody's being taken advantage of. We're not exploiting each other. We're trying to foster this thing. You know what I'm saying? That's like even when we go out and travel, when we're going out to different countries and staying in different resorts, a lot of times the majority of that. But then there are times when she comes right through and she helps me pay for it. You know what I'm saying? So it's about working together in this thing and doing it together for the both of us. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, I mean, I think that what Bruce said.
Bruce said, I'm stuck in the middle of how the OG pimps raised me and what the word of God has taught me. That's an honest point because guess what? I'm raised in the inner city of DC. And so coming up, that's what we saw. We were on the corner talking to the guys and they made it feel like it was like they were giving us a law handbook. Like this is the law, how you do it. You don't do this, because you're going to look like this. And so when you come up raised in that headspace, but then when you cross over and you in like you grown man life and you in mature reality, you try to look at things differently. But it is hard to ignore that man in the middle where you just like,
But it should be a balance. It should be a balance between the two. You know what I'm saying? In terms of, how the OGs raised me, but then I know what the word of God also says in regards to that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I don't think they should be mutually exclusive to each other. But at some point in time, you can find a balance between the two of them so that they agree. You know what I'm saying? Because the OGs, in terms of what they saw and what they believed was right, they weren't completely wrong with it. They weren't completely wrong. They might have been a little misguided. Kind of got off on left field somewhere. Just a little bit, but they weren't completely wrong. And so I think it's important for us to be able to understand. Listen, if we really believe that both that women and men can coexist together and work together, then this is a part of that process. Yeah. In terms of them being able to do for themselves, just like men are able to do for themselves, and men are able to do for her. Women are also able to do for us as well. We can both be a support and a strength to each other financially. We just have to work at it. We just have to talk about it and discuss it. We just have to sit here and plan it and figure out how we're going to move forward from this particular place.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean that's like you said, that's where we at. So we gotta, like you say, it's like when it comes to the word, when I think of the word and its instruction, I don't hear the word in the aspect of dating. The word is preparation for marriage, from my perspective. It's teaching you how to reverence your wife going forward. It doesn't say, taketh thou girl to steakhouse and don't spend $300. It ain't saying that in the Bible. It's just talking about how she's basically saying if I had to sum the word up in love, when it comes about love, basically it's like God saying, listen, lady, as long as when you see him respecting and loving on me, that's a man you can trust in. That's basically what I get out of it. Because God is saying in so many words, like in other words, it's like as you see him honoring me, that's the man you respecting. He's following after my footsteps. This is a man I'm developing that you can trust. If he's not honoring me, he's probably not a man you can trust. Bottom line. So that's how I look at it that way. But in terms of dating, the dating part is definitely you have to be. I always talk about losing the list, is because these lists that we have and these expectations get us hung up. They get us hung up because in most cases our list is based off of our own reality and vanity, which in most cases is not so. It's not how we see it. The way we think we see it in real world is not who it is, who we are, and what it really should be. It's just our own vanity of what we have grown to expect about ourselves, Right. And I also look at it like this. Call me if I'm thinking from a man's standpoint, there's a difference between taking care. Like a man should take care of his wife.
Right.
Take care of his mother.
Yeah.
Everybody else should be looked after. There's a difference.
Okay.
Taking care is a responsibility. That's
right.
your wife. That's your duty. Your mother birthed you. Take care of your mother. Right. Everybody else in life you can look after, and look after can look all kinds of ways. But that whole expectation needs to be removed and reserved for marriage. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
No, that's actually a good way to look at that, man. I like that. That's good, because then it kind of like relieves you from carrying the bulk of the responsibility in terms of, you know, making sure everybody's taken care of.
No,
but
you can't do that. You can't do that.
Can't live your life.
You can't live your life taking care of everyone like they're a wife or a husband.
Yeah, exactly.
You can look after them, and looking after means I'm helping you. I might bless you one time. I came into something really good, and you were in a hardship. I gave you $5,000, and I told you didn't have to pay me back. Maybe, but in most cases, don't expect it though. Don't expect a continual generosity out of me without being my spouse. Do you understand what I'm saying? Take what the person gives you and be benevolent, kind, grateful, thankful, all of those things. But don't practice living a life within a facade that the world owes you upkeep. Nobody owes you upkeep to your life. Nobody has to take care of you and all your desires, and you want me to pay for things that you can't afford.
Right.
On your own. Why am I keeping up a lifestyle that if I stepped out of it, you would go bankrupt in? Doesn't make sense. So I don't do them kind of things. So
ain't nobody listen. Like I said, I ain't nobody got no time for you for me to be paying for your little your little exploitive lifestyle on Facebook, and you taking pictures on Instagram, and you know you got this supposed luxury life, and you just living your best life, doing all kinds of crazy. Ain't nobody got time there. Y'all don't know we in inflation time.
It has really messed us up. Like you said, helping out, help someone. Believe me, listen. If you're a humble person, all of us at some point or another have either asked for help or someone has helped us. And if you're a decent-hearted person, you were thankful. It doesn't matter what your status were. You could have been working and having a good job, but still fell into a position. Okay, so there's a difference between, like you said, somebody being kind to step in and helping you, and you having the expectation that you need to keep my life up because you know I'm this kind of man, and I smell good, I dress good, I drive good. Don't you come halfway, pay for me. Or same way on the other side where the woman is expecting this out of somebody. We ought to live our lives in a way to pay our own way. Anything else is generous bonus at best, but don't expect somebody to upkeep you because of your vanity. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Right. Okay, so I'm gonna tell a story. I wasn't gonna tell a story, but I'm gonna tell a story.
So story time. Now go ahead.
but you know the story ain't gonna go but so far. It ain't gonna go but so far.
All right, go ahead.
So I remember dating my wife earlier on in our relationship, and I don't know how we got into the conversation about something. I don't know if it was a bill that she needed to pay or something like that.
Yeah.
And I offered to help her. I said, look, I got this, I can help you out with this. We can do this thing together, whatever like that. We can do this. Man, you want to talk about somebody who got adamant about not helping her and me, and just completely turning me down and refusing me. Dude, it was all I could do to save my own soul. Dude, she was like, no, we're not doing that. We're not shut it down from the get-go. I was like, yo, are you serious? Because again, I'm not doing it with an ulterior motive. I'm not doing it to try to get something out of you. I'm not doing it to exploit you or to manipulate you. I'm doing it because I really honestly want to help you. But even in that, she was like, no, I don't want your help. I don't need your help. I got this. Yeah. I'm going to take care of it myself. You know what I'm saying? And even to this day, she's still the same way. Now, it's a little bit better that we're married. Just slightly better. Just a little bit better. Just a little bit. But my whole point is this, that she was not expecting me to do it. She did not walk into the relationship with an idea or mentality of entitlement, that she's entitled to certain financial help or whatever like that. But she was willing to do it on her own by herself. And I'm like, okay, you made your point.
You know what the sad truth today, and then I'll follow up with today's racist fun joke of the day. But anyway,
oh no.
What time is it? No, listen, what a lot of women do, Adam, is unfortunately a lot of women do not live to live. They live to be not let down.
Okay.
So they don't live their lives to just be open and be like, oh my God, I'm like, thank you, Adam. Appreciate you offering this. And what it is, here's the sad joke. The reason that Maria probably said to herself when you was like, don't worry, baby, I got this bill. I can pay you. Don't worry about it. She probably was thinking to herself, black guy, he's going to ask for it back on Friday. I let him help me on Tuesday, and on Friday, hey Marie, you think you can give back that $200 off on that bill? She's like, really, Adam? Did I just help you? But no, listen, seriously. I honestly think what it is women would love to get to a point in their mind that they can trust that the men can be there. We're not talking about no using stuff. We're talking about legit helping. They want to have the trust to say, I'm living life because I know this person is behind me and they're going to do the best they can not to allow me to fall.
Right.
But because so many women don't have the faith and the confidence in the men that they love and are married to, what they do is they live to not be let down. And what that looks like is similar to what you're describing. Like you said, look at it. You said just a little bit. And that's even in marriage. So that takes some undoing and trust. Even in as great as you could be having a synergy, to a woman's mind, she's still in her mind testing to say, am I safe yet to really let it all go here? You understand what I'm saying? So instead of not being safe, you're going to work 3, 4, 5 jobs, whatever it's going to take to maintain what you need to maintain as you, until you can someday wake up and say, you know what? This person got me. I don't have to live so tough and hard and because I need to take care of it all. I just want to know that I can live to live and not live to be let down. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, not to be let down. Good stuff, y'all. So anyway, on tonight, we appreciate you guys.
Yeah, you're wrong for that, Charles. You're wrong for that, bro.
We appreciate you guys for now here's a real, that joke really just wasn't from me. A lady actually said that to me one time.
Oh my God.
One of my coworkers told me she was a I don't know if she was a Dominican, whatever. I think she was Dominican or whatever, but she was lighter complexion. And she said that the guy she was with, he was a black guy, and I think he was a professional guy. I don't know if he was in law or whatever he was doing, but she said he was always asking to pay her stuff. And she said it got to the point where it was a little annoying because it didn't feel generous. It felt like it was something behind why he kept asking. So and then she made the joke about it. She's like, come on, Charles. You know how you guys are. If I let you pay my bill on Monday, she said Friday you'll be asking for it back. I said, but anyway, so
not a gas and grab it, clutching pearls.
I was like, but anyway, so yeah. Appreciate you all for tuning in to another episode of Unique Perspectives Love Talk Radio, where today we talked about love and the bag. Basically, when do we relinquish it? Do we relinquish it beforehand or after we have said I do? Tie the knot. Anyway, next week, same time, Thursday, 4:30 Central Standard Time. We'll be right here with another grappling topic to argue over. See you guys then. Anything else, Mr. Ford, before we go?
Nah, man. I'm good.
All right, well, you be good because get ready. It's going to get worse in a few minutes.
I see. Hey, I be jamming on that jump.
Yeah, that's smooth. So listen, you know what I'm going to do, Mr. Ford?
No. You're going to do what?
I'm going to develop a contract, a pay-to-play contract for him, pay-to-pay contract for her. If people don't know how to play fair in the world of love, guess what? Let's document it and put it in writing. You want to have all this stuff? You want to have all these, oh, I need you to do this. Well, guess what? If I do this, you do that. If I'm doing this for you, I'm expecting this from you. That's what both sides need to do. If it needs to get to that point, let's put it in writing and put it in front of the person. Then let's sign off on, do you see my terms? These are your desires. These are my terms. Flat out. That's what you got to do, because people think people are foolish today. And so in order to keep yourself from being not sane in the brain, you got to put this stuff in front of people. So sometimes they can see how foolish some of this stuff looks. Put it right in front of you and say, listen, you've been asking me for this over the last year, right? Okay, this is what I came up with. Look at all. These are my demands. Those are your desires. And let's go from there. Right. Mm-hmm. That's it.
Yeah. So I'm sure you got a couple of contracts out there already like that. I'm sure you got a couple of agreements, signed agreements, notarized. You know what I'm saying? On record.
No, I'm saying now, if I do this, I don't want to see this on TMZ. No, I'm just playing. Anyway.
Well, then you got to get him to sign the NDA. Now you got to get him to do an NDA. You might as well go ahead and get the law attorney.
Unfortunately, as I live my life, Adam, my stories are becoming less and less as I evolve in life and become a different version of myself. I used to live for the stories. I don't have the desire. Remember the movie? What is that movie? God, the one where Lorenz Tate played Old Dog, Menace to Society. In the movie, it was Lorenz Tate and the other guy. They were in the back seat going to pay back some retribution while the OG was driving. He knew everything to do. He told them all how to go and kill the dudes, right? But he said they tried to get him to get involved. And I never forgot this line. He says, I don't want to do that no more. I just enjoy seeing y'all do it. In other words, he been there, done that. He not trying to get his hands dirty no more. It's amused seeing the youngsters do what they do. So that's kind of like my own analogy. I used to do old stuff. I'm in the OG now. I don't want to do all that old stuff no more. Hey,
I was about to say,
Bruce, do some more OG stuff, Bruce. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway,
oh my God,
man. But you got to evolve, Adam. You got in order to be where Adam and Maria has ascended to, you have to evolve.
Don't do that.
I'm teasing you. I'm only teasing, man. You got to evolve to get to a different headspace, right?
I mean, you got to be willing to do the work. That's all that's asked for. That's all that's required is being able to do that work so that you can reap the benefit of it. If you're not willing to do the work, then you might as well just go and just get out now.
Yeah,
don't even make any moves or anything like that. Just do the work, and I promise you, it'll pay off in the end.
Yeah,
seriously,
that's what's up, man. That's what's up.
Yeah, work on your credit score. Work on your credit score. Work on your 401k.
Adam said that will pay off, and write that down. That's part of the agreement too. You said it. So anyway, All right, man. It was great. It was great chopping it up with you today, sir. We'll talk.
No doubt. No doubt.
Next week. Until next time, everybody. Love y'all. We out.
Peace.